We were very proud because when we were doing an ADR session at the end of the film with Jeffrey Rush, who's from Australia, when he saw some of the images of the Sydney Harbour here, especially that one opening shot, he said, you guys just nailed it. You did it. It's Sydney.
Yeah, he was really impressed.
It's not a duck, it's a pelican!
We do have one name for a boat that we really wish we had gotten in there, but we never did, which was the Tipping Hedron. And we're kind of wishing we had gotten
for the birds.
Yeah. Well, Gerald and Nigel actually were going to originally conceive to be have more character shtick together. Gerald was going to be this sort of sloppy, messy, oil-slicked, kind of bird, while Nigel was going to be very fastidious and neat and tall. And I don't know, it just ended up always becoming as stereotypical as it sounds, and we never could make a scene that was worthy.
It was like the whole movie was stopping just to make
exactly.
some shtick.
I don't know, somehow you still have to go that route originally to find your characters, but you end up usually throwing that kind of stuff out because it doesn't push anything forward.
Well, I mean, that's efficiency, and that definitely was something that we talked about along the way. We listened to Nichols and May, and there was this great line where a mother calls her son, and the only line she says is, "This is your mother, remember me?" And you get it immediately, and so that's the kind of thing we always talked about striving for.
Yeah, that became our touchstone line. It says it doesn't have the "it's your mother, remember me" economy, and
right.
we have so many characters. You just need to get it. You need to get it right out of the gate.
And how does that make me live?
Fine.
A lot of people don't realize that seagulls actually speak in other languages than English. Mine. Mio. Mien. Mine. Meo. Bogano. Me. Moi. Shelly. Moya. Aken. Thikamu. Miro. Moi. Monument. Lomsa.
This pelican scene had been in the movie for a long, long, long time, but it wasn't until we added the seagulls to the end. Just boosted that whole sequence up to a level that it had never been at before. Yeah, I remember Derek bringing all this footage and you showing us your first cut, and we just were ecstatic.
In a big action scene like this Pelican sequence, we'll oftentimes build much more footage than we'll end up using in the final film.
I think this was 3-1, approximately, for footage that we created and then the shots that were actually used in the final film.
What we actually did in the scene is, we knew the basic action that needed to happen. Nigel needs to take off with Father and Dory in his beak, swoop into the water, and then fly around being chased by the seagulls. And what we did was we basically blocked out that entire action flying around the harbor and then filmed it lots of different ways. Big wide shots, tracking shots, shots moving through the air, shots locked on the ground, panning, seeing them go by. And we just really went to town building a huge amount of footage. And then we found the final scene in the editing room. Those seagulls, by the way.
I believe it's Andrew Stanton, director of Finding Nemo. How many... Were you going to let anyone else do voices in this film?
Oh, I knew it was going to go there.
Keep it to yourself. Is that because you haven't won an Oscar? You have to get your voice in everywhere you can.
Okay, first of all, this will never make it to the DVD now.
Well, in that case...
Okay.
This is Nigel. He's a pelican, this guy. And figuring out how to make this guy fly is a mechanical thing because we're looking at like these live action clips to see, well, how does the real bird fly? And then you want to plus the mechanics and you want to put in some character. You want to say, well, what is this character all about? Well, pelicans by nature are very kind of awkward creatures. They're incredible, but they're very awkward when the way they move, and they're very kind of gangly. So I thought, well, what if I put some overlap into this thing and really make it a little more cartoony? You kind of come from the mechanics, and then you take caricature and acting, and you put all of that stuff together, and that's where the end performance really comes from.